At the start of the drama, Lucy was resting peacefully. However, her nap was interrupted by a group of people approaching her house, shouting loudly. Lucy went outside to see what was happening and noticed they'd even brought a big bulldozer. She tried to stop them, but Mr. Wang showed her a letter and said, "This letter's got your master's stamp and signature. Means we've got full rights to this land." Lucy then used her magic to change the bulldozer's direction. The villagers started yelling at her, but she didn't let them do anything. Everyone, including Wang, got scared of her powers. However, the cowardly Wang pretended he wasn't scared at all. He tried to rally his people, and together, they attacked Lucy. Lucy, again, used her magic and knocked them all down. Wang's fake hair even flew off in the process. Wang thought to himself, the villagers said this house was haunted. Could this girl be a ghost? He then asked Lucy her identity. Lucy replied that she was her master's student. Wang scoffed, "You, the master's student? Never seen you around." Lucy got angry because he was mocking her. She pulled the remaining hair from Wang's head, making him cry. Wang sobbed, "Do you even know how much wigs cost these days? You've ruined my hair." Lucy warned him, "If you don't leave right now, I'll pull out your real hair and make you completely bald." Wang got scared and ran away, shouting threats as he left. After that, Lucy looked at the agreement and realized someone must have forged it. Then, we saw a grandpa and his grandson, Lin. They were begging for money, pretending to cry, saying, "My grandson needs urgent hospitalization. We need money for his treatment." When they checked their bowl, they saw they hadn't collected enough yet. Just then, they noticed a lady approaching. They started telling her their sob story. However, Lucy revealed her face, and the grandpa immediately called her master. Lucy showed him the agreement, and the grandpa started apologizing. "Master, please forgive me. I've got a lot of debt, which is why we did this. But I promise I'll pay you back soon." Lucy asked him, "Did you need so much money you had to sell my house?" Grandpa apologized again. Lucy asked him the amount of the debt. The grandpa showed 2 fingers. Lucy thought it was a 2 million, but it was 200 million, she said. "It's only a small amount." "No problem, I'll pay off this loan." The grandpa was overjoyed and promised, "As soon as I get the money, I'll return it to you immediately." He then asked his grandson, Lin, to thank Lucy, but Lin refused. Lin got annoyed and said, "She's even younger than you. Why do you keep calling her master? She should be calling you master instead." The grandpa scolded Lin, saying, "If she wasn't here, we'd be in a much worse situation." Lin then thought, "If Lucy can heal my grandpa, she can heal anyone." He then asked Lucy to come with him somewhere. They both rode their bicycles to a place. Seeing a car passing by, Lucy mused, "If we had a car, getting around would be so much easier." After that, the 3 of them set off on their bicycles. Lucy, using her powers, sped up their bikes to an almost airplane-like pace. Car drivers stared in disbelief, shocked that a bicycle could move that fast. Next, we see Leo arriving at his hotel room. His mother kept calling, a constant stream of calls, while he reassured her he was just outside. Suddenly, Lucy appeared, jumping and flying through the air, saving Leo from some unseen danger. Leo thanked her profusely. Later, Lucy, with her golden eyes, observed that he was plagued by terrible luck, teetering on the edge of death. Such a handsome face, she thought, but it won't last long. Lucy started offering him protective spells, saying, "Look, I can give you these at a really good price, because I can see how unlucky your life is." Leo, assuming she was a scammer, refused. Lucy tried her best to convince him, genuinely wanting to help, but Leo just told her to leave. She felt a pang of disappointment, as she only meant well. Just then, Grandpa and Zhao arrived. Grandpa complained, "You took our speed challenge way too seriously. You've got magic powers, we don't. Have some consideration for an old man." Then, they noticed Lucy talking to Leo. Lucy started asking about him, and Grandpa informed her, "Do you even know who he is? He's Leo, the president of Ting Group, the richest man in China and the youngest president. But despite his wealth, he has terrible luck. He has an incurable disease, and we don't think he has much time left. Lucy replied, he's got loads of money. He can pay doctors to cure him. But Grandpa countered, he's consulted doctors worldwide, spent billions on treatments, but there's no cure. Lucy began to think that helping Leo could be very lucrative. With that money, she could rebuild her temple and home. She said, Grandpa, the more we talk, the more time we waste. Let's go wash those dishes. Lucy questioned, you brought me here just to wash dishes? Grandpa chuckled, oh, it's just a simple task for you. You'll use your magic and finish them in seconds. Just wait and see how much we'll earn. Inside, Leo, expecting his mother, but found Nina waiting. What are you doing here? He asked. Nina says, what do you think? Your mother arranged this date. Leo reminded her, I told you, I'm not going to marry you. Nina deliberately tried to get close, but Lucy pushed her away and gave Leo a spell. I was going to charge you, but now it's free, she said. Consider it a gift. Nina, furious, was about to attack Lucy, but Grandpa rushed in and pushed Nina back. Grandpa told Lucy, please, take it easy. My heart can't handle your speed. Later, when Grandpa saw Leo, he formally greeted him. Lucy scolded him, why are you using Western etiquette? So, Grandpa began greeting Leo in the traditional manner. Lucy declared, we're a team now, and whatever troubles you have, we'll solve them. Leo, however, remained skeptical. At that moment, Nina stormed forward, shouting at Lucy, how dare you? Are you blind? I was standing right there, and you just shoved me aside to get to Leo. How dare you? Lucy calmly replied, your words are less than pleasant. It suggests a certain negativity. Perhaps a spell to refine your speech is in order. Nina, clearly offended, refused and called Lucy a scammer, threatening, I'm going to call the police. Lucy countered, you're inviting misfortune. If you'd listen, you'd avoid it. Just then, a passing customer began choking, and the lodged object flew straight into Nina's mouth. Leo was stunned, realizing Lucy's words had come true. Nina panicked, and Grandpa retrieved the object. Nina was about to erupt again, but a waiter accidentally bumped into her, sending her sprawling onto Lucy. Lucy remarked, must you express your gratitude in such a physical manner? A simple thank you would suffice. Nina, furious, rushed to Leo, pleading, she's bullying me. Leo retorted, you're the one causing all the chaos. Grandpa chimed in, siding with Lucy, my master speaks the truth. Your words are unfortunate. You should really consider controlling your tongue. Both Lucy and Nina were seething, but Leo firmly dismissed Nina's complaints, stating, it's all your fault, Nina. Nina, enraged, declared, fine. I'll tell Aunt everything, and then you'll see. She stormed off. Leo then turned to Lucy. You said you could solve any problem. Can you cure mine? Lucy examined him closely, revealing her knowledge of his incurable disease, stating, doctors say you have only a few years left. Lucy reassured him, don't worry. We have solutions for everything. She used her golden eyes, observing the growing dark energy within him. Then, she asked for time to prepare a cure, subtly hinting at payment. Leo replied, name your price. Once I'm cured, I'll pay whatever you ask. Lucy, pleased, gave him a pendant, saying, this will help us communicate. She and Grandpa then left. Meanwhile, Nina, in her car, smiled maliciously, Leo will be mine. No one will come between us. She made a clandestine call, plotting to get closer to Leo. Later, Grandpa asked Lucy, when will we start making real money? Lucy sighed, money doesn't grow on trees, Grandpa. Grandpa, however, had an idea. He pulled out his begging bowl, and people began dropping coins. Lucy exclaimed, is that your grand plan? We'll starve at this rate. Then, Grandpa suddenly remembered something important. They'd completely forgotten about Lynn. Just then, Lynn rushed in, complaining, where have you two been? I had to wash all the hotel dishes alone, and I had to listen to so many scoldings. Do you even know? Lucy, seeing Lynn, suddenly had an idea. Meanwhile, we see Nina at Leo's house with Leo and his mother. Leo's mother said, "Nina told me you helped her at the hotel, that she was being bullied." Leo replied, "That's not what happened. Nina wasn't bullied, and I didn't help her. As for marrying her, I'm completely against it." His mother was clearly annoyed. Meanwhile, Nina secretly placed a spell on Leo's back. This spell made him do whatever she said. Leo thought, "How did I lose control?" He started repeating Nina's words, confused. At the same time, Leo held the jade pendant and silently called for Lucy. We then see Lucy with Grandpa and Lynn. Lucy used her magic to enhance Leo's physique, giving him impressive muscles. Lynn, seeing this, admired his own body. Meanwhile, Grandpa had prepared posters and banners according to Lucy's instructions. Lynn asked, "Are we taking photos with me?" Lucy replied, "More than photos." She then called out loudly, attracting girls, women, and even grandmothers. They swarmed Lynn, and soon, they had a huge pile of money. Back at Leo's, his mother was overjoyed. "Great, Leo, you've agreed. Now I can rest easy, knowing you'll both be settled." But when she asked if he was truly sure about Nina, Leo, still under the spell, said yes. His mother, unaware of the magic, happily announced the engagement for the next day. Leo, meanwhile, was thinking, "Why isn't she here yet?" Later, we see Lucy, Grandpa, and Lynn. Lucy finished her work with Lynn, which involved a lot of attention from the crowd. Lynn asked, "How much did we make?" Lucy replied, "2 million. He was shocked. Then Grandpa added, "2 million is good, but we still need 198 million, which shocked both Lynn and Lucy even more. Next, Grandpa took them to a special event. On the top floor of a hotel, an engagement was about to take place, with delicious food being served. Lucy, a food enthusiast, brought them there to enjoy the feast. Meanwhile, the engagement was revealed to be Leo and Nina's. Leo's mother was thrilled. "See? Finally, my son is settling down, marrying Nina." Leo thought, "Why can't I speak my mind? Why are my words twisted? Where's Lucy? When will she help?" Later, we see Lucy, Grandpa, and Lynn at a buffet table. Lucy asked Grandpa, "Will we get in trouble for eating this food?" Grandpa assured her, "Don't worry. There are so many guests, no one will notice where we came from." Meanwhile, Lynn brought a lunchbox. Grandpa tossed the lunchbox aside and handed them a plastic bag, explaining that it could hold much more. They all started filling the bag with food. The host then announced the bride and groom for the engagement ceremony. Lucy immediately recognized that Leo was under some kind of control. When the host asked Leo if he was ready to get engaged, the ghost controlling him said yes. However, Lucy declared that Leo didn't want the wedding. Nina's mother was furious, demanding to know who Lucy was to interfere. Lucy explained that Leo was her client and was being forced into the engagement. Lynn was worried, fearing they'd be thrown out. But Grandpa reassured Lynn, saying Lucy was trying to help and they should support her. Lucy then told Leo's mother that Leo was under the influence of a telesummoned ghost. Nina scoffed, telling them not to believe Lucy, claiming she was just trying to cause trouble. Nina's mother called security, accusing them of being beggars trying to ruin the event. Lynn grumbled to Grandpa that he'd warned him about Lucy, calling her a liar. Grandpa snapped at him, reminding him she was their master and always spoke the truth. Leo's mother gave Lucy a chance to leave quietly, but Lucy insisted she would prove her point by breaking the spell and letting Leo speak for himself. Nina demanded the guards attack them. Lucy froze the guards with her powers and swiftly extracted the telesummoned ghost. But even then, Leo insisted he wanted to marry Nina. However, his inner voice revealed he was being controlled. Lucy observed Leo closely. Nina seized the opportunity, claiming Lucy was trying to sabotage their family and that Leo was acting of his own free will. Lucy realized the ghost was still influencing Leo and explained the situation. Nina called her crazy, saying ghosts didn't exist. Leo's mother challenged Lucy to prove it by removing the ghost. Lucy tried to communicate with the ghost, but it refused to leave. Lucy said this was the first ghost to disobey her. "Listen to me," Lucy said, and she began to manipulate Leo, pulling him up and down with an invisible force. The sudden, jarring motion shocked everyone. Leo's mother started to weep. Nina, her face contorted, yelled, "You can't do this. He's mine." But Lucy kept at it, pulling him up and down. Soon, Leo and the ghost began to feel nauseous. Lucy said, "Looks like you're not leaving." "Fine." She then created a dizzying, roller coaster-like motion. The ghost, overwhelmed, apologized and vanished, leaving behind black smoke. Everyone saw it, finally understanding Leo had been possessed. Leo's mother was confused, and Grandpa explained everything, saying, "You should have trusted Lucy." Lucy then caught the smoke and summoned the ghost back. Leo asked, "Who told you to do this?" The ghost, now small and trembling, cried, "I don't know who I work for. I just follow orders, they pay me." Lucy said, "Okay, you don't know your boss, but you know who hired you." She pointed at Nina, but the ghost refused to say anything. Lucy signaled to Leo, who gave her money, which she gave to the ghost. The ghost, happy, confessed it was her. Nina yelled, "She's lying. I did nothing." But Nina's lies were about to unravel. Lucy used a truth spell, and Nina was forced to confess. "Fine," she spat. "No rich, handsome boy wants me. I targeted Leo because he's dying. I'd inherit everything." Leo's mother was horrified. Nina's parents apologized. Leo's mother said, "I trusted you. How could you?" Nina apologized, but Leo, angry, canceled the engagement and ordered the guards to throw them out. They were ejected. Leo's mother thanked Lucy. Leo also thanked Lucy. Lucy said, "Don't thank me yet. Your real trouble starts now." She touched Leo, but he flinched. Grandpa, misunderstanding, said, "I know you're young, but don't worry. Once we have money, we can buy male models." Lucy, confused, realized what he meant and yelled, "That's not what I meant. I'm testing Leo. I want to see his emotions, what the evil inside him wants." She used her powers and her golden eyes to examine him. Leo's mother asked, "Who's hurting my son?" Lucy asked, "Does he have bad luck often?" His mother said, "Yes. Some moment of people's lives might have bad luck," Leo's mother said, her voice trembling, "but my son's every day, every moment is completely cursed." Lucy replied, "The evil power here is very strong, very greedy. It'll take effort, but I'm the only one who can cure him." Leo, remembering the great master's prophecy, said, "He told me my destined person could save me." "That's you, isn't it?" Lucy nodded. "For quick results, you need to stay with me constantly. I'll turn your bad luck around, moment by moment." His mother agreed, and Grandpa was thrilled at the prospect of living in a mansion. They arrived at Leo's house, but Lucy stopped them. "There's a lot of dark energy here," she said, her voice serious. Leo was shocked. He hadn't sensed it. They wondered how to proceed. Lucy said, "Don't worry, I have a plan." She asked Grandpa to make arrangements. Soon, a large truck arrived, filled with new furniture and household items. Leo was stunned. "Are you sure this will work?" he asked. Lucy replied, "It won't eliminate the evil entirely, but it'll weaken it." They prepared to enter the house, but Leo was blocked by an invisible barrier. Lucy realized the evil power was too strong, preventing him from entering a blessed space. She and Grandpa prayed to their great master, asking for permission for Leo to enter, emphasizing his good nature and their intent to help. Soon, the barrier dissipated and Leo could enter. At that moment, Leo understood Lucy was the destined person from the prophecy. They all prayed to the great master. Lucy then used her magic to erect a stone ward. "This will keep evil spirits out," she explained. Grandpa and Lynn made flyers for their services, but no one took them. Lynn explained, "This is the modern age, Grandpa. No one believes in fortune-telling. They'll think we're scammers." Just then, Leo's mother arrived with her friends. They mocked the changes to the house, calling it old-fashioned. Leo's mother, furious that her house had been altered in her absence, stormed inside. She found Lucy and demanded answers. Lucy explained she was driving away the evil powers. The friends scoffed at the idea. "Really? Turn the whole house into a temple, one of Leo's mother's friends asked, skeptical. Is she a scammer? Leo's mother defended Lucy. She's not a scammer. She has real magical abilities. She's already saved Leo once. Lucy then offered them small bags, saying, a gift for visiting my temple. They declined, one saying, sorry, I only use designer bags. If I start using such a cheap bag instead of my expensive one, what will happen to my reputation? Lynn and Grandpa arrived, saying, this bag was made by our master. It can hold anything. The friends remained skeptical. Lucy demonstrated, placing a chair inside the small bag. They were shocked. They noticed the yellow-tailed charm on the bag and asked if it was responsible. Grandpa confirmed it was, saying it was also made by their master. Leo's mother took the bag, amazed at how light it was despite holding so much. She praised Lucy, calling her my future daughter-in-law, and raved about her powers. Lucy corrected her, not quite daughter-in-law yet. Hearing about fortune-telling, the friends were intrigued. One said, my husband's been acting strange. I think he has a mistress. I hired an investigator. The others laughed, but Lucy said, he's not cheating, but he's hiding something, probably money. The woman video called her husband, who denied everything. Lucy told her to turn a vase upside down. Money fell out. Really? For such a small amount, the woman asked. Her husband replied, you know all my accounts. I have to manage my expenses. The woman ended the call. Another friend complained about wrinkles. Lucy produced a pot of medicine. One pill slows aging by years, she said. The woman swallowed a pill and her wrinkles vanished. The others were stunned. Leo's mother said, stay as long as you want. Turn this villa into your temple. I'll recommend you to everyone. The friends requested more medicine. Lucy said, I don't work for free. Promote my temple. They agreed. A long line formed and Lucy began consultations. Lucy began consulting people one by one. Grandpa excitedly said, at this rate, we'll clear our debts in no time. Just then, a luxury car arrived and Mr. Fu stepped out. Everyone was shocked. He was a very wealthy man, here for a fortune reading. Mr. Fu told Lucy, I have 3 missing children. I don't know if they're lost or worse. Find them for me, accurately, and $1 million is yours. Lucy started her calculations, but before she could speak, Nina arrived, interrupting. She accused Lucy of scamming people, demanding she shut down her fraudulent business. Grandpa, furious, told Nina to be quiet and not insult his master. He warned her to watch her tongue. Nina, undeterred, insisted she could prove Lucy was a liar. She claimed she could also read fortunes and accurately. Nina, intrigued, said, you seem confident. Let's make a bet. If I lose, I'll give you $5 million. Lucy, however, was reluctant. Nina taunted, scared, about to be exposed. Lucy replied, I'm not refusing, but a $5 million isn't enough. I need at least a $50 million just to participate. The prize was raised, and she began her calculations. She told Mr. Fu that his 3 sons were alive. One worked at a TV company, another as a waiter, and she provided detailed descriptions. Mr. Fu sent his assistant to verify the information. Minutes later, the assistant returned, confirming all 3 sons had been found. People were amazed, calling Lucy a fraud. Grandpa angrily told them not to criticize Lucy, but they insisted on believing what they had just seen. Lucy then said to Nina, enough. I see you've learned some techniques that are mine. One of my students must have taught you. But your information isn't entirely accurate. People began to doubt her, wondering if she'd manipulated the situation or even fabricated the missing sons. Nina told Lucy to be quiet. Mr. Fu intervened, telling them to stop arguing. He had found his sons, and there must have been a misunderstanding. Nina demanded Lucy kneel and apologize. However, Lucy used her powers to reveal more details about the 3 sons. She told Mr. Fu that his second son was not his biological child. Mr. Fu, shocked, said, I respect you, but don't lie to win. Lucy insisted, I'm not lying. Wait until they arrive, and you'll see the truth. She then revealed that Mr. Fu's situation was more complex than anyone realized, and there was a different truth waiting to be unveiled. The third child isn't a son, but a daughter, Lucy revealed, her voice calm. Mr. Fu scoffed, convinced she was lying. But then, his third child arrived, and to his shock, it was a young woman. She explained, "Mom told me you always wanted sons. If I'd been a girl, you might have left her. So she raised me as a boy." Lucy continued, "And that's not all. Your second son, he's attracted to men." Moments later, the second son arrived, confirming Lucy's words. "It's true," he admitted, his voice low. "I'm gay." Then, the first son arrived. He wasn't Mr. Fu's biological child. "Please don't be angry," he pleaded. "I've always considered you my dad. But I found out my real father was a neighbor." Mr. Fu, overwhelmed and angry, drove them all away. "How cursed am I?" he lamented. "Not a single true son." She said, "It's not hopeless." Mr. Fu replied, "But I'm not young anymore." Lucy said, "I know, but I need payment before we proceed." Mr. Fu immediately paid her. Lucy gave him 3 pills, instructing him on their use. "Children will come easily," she said. At this point, Nina, furious, declared, "Wait. My master's coming and he'll deal with you." Soon, Nina's master arrived. Nina began to insult Lucy, but her master slapped her. Then he bowed to Lucy, calling her great master. He apologized, "Forgive my disciple's insolence." Lucy replied, "Your disciple is terrible. She won't even apologize." The master disowned Nina, saying, "I'll no longer teach her." They took Nina and left. Lucy yelled at the master's retreating figure, "Remember, train your students properly. They could scam people and ruin families." Then, a flashback showed Lucy training many people with her magic. The master had been her weakest student, but Lucy had made him powerful. Back in the present, the master thanked Lucy profusely, saying his life had completely changed because of her training. He thanked the entire group for their support. Lucy returned to her work. The line was endless, but eventually it ended. They checked their money box. It was so heavy they could barely lift it. They counted the money, realizing they had almost paid off their loan. Suddenly, police officers arrived. "We received a report of illegal superstitious activities," they said. They took all 3 of them to the police station. Lucy was furious. Grandpa, knowing talking would only make things worse, refused to speak. They sat in silence. Lucy was furious, trying to figure out who had reported them. "I'm the great master," she fumed. She argued with a police officer until the main officer silenced them all. They took her to the interrogation room, demanding to know why they were running a superstitious business and why they were pretending. "Do you even have any degrees?" they asked. Lucy insisted they weren't imposters. "Our cultivation gives us these abilities," she said. "You can't arrest us for false superstition charges." Grandpa apologized, saying Lucy had a bit of a temper. They were forced to sign a banner stating, "We will no longer spread false superstitions," and were recorded saying it. Lucy was enraged. Once outside, they wondered how to make money. They saw a street filled with fortune tellers and decided to set up shop there. People were skeptical. Lucy predicted a man's fortune, describing his grandfather's dream visits in detail. She then used magic, and the grandfather's spirit appeared, apologizing and giving his last wishes. Grandpa then produced a QR code. "Nothing's free anymore," he said. The man transferred a large sum, and everyone was eager for a reading. At that moment, the police arrive and everyone runs away. The police officers catch them again. Lucy says that her fortune-telling and superstitions are not bad or false. She only tells people the truth. The police officers do not believe her. Lucy takes out her talisman, and later, she helps them, meaning she helps them catch a criminal. The police officers cannot believe it. Lucy, using her golden eye, identifies the location. The police officer then calls the location and orders the goon to be caught, and exactly that happens. The officer suspects that Lucy might be involved with the goons. So, they take her to the investigation room, and after questioning, the goon is finally caught. Lucy explains that this was not done by the person, but by an evil spirit inside him. The police still do not believe her. Then, she uses her powers to extract the evil spirit, and only then do they believe her. A deal is made that Lucy can still tell people's fortunes, but if even one thing turns out to be false, she must shut down her business. After this, Leo arrives. They tell Leo to send him to their shop. Seeing all of them, he says that they should call it a stall, not a shop. He explains that setting up a stall is useless because people often get cheated there and no one will trust them. Then, Grandpa requests Leo, and he helps them own their own shop. Later, Lucy removes all evil spirits from the shop. Along with that, she sets up her mini ghosts so that they can ensure purity there. Finally, her business starts, where many people come to her for consultation. But at that moment, another person arrives whose name is E. E arrived, furious, claiming Lucy was stealing his clients. He brought his goons and tried to drive them away. Grandpa yelled, "You're the fake one. You lie to everyone." E, enraged, warned them to stay out of his business. Lucy said, "You're the one lying. Tell people you're a fraud." E ordered his goons to attack, but Leo arrived and stopped them. Leo asked E his identity. E revealed his name, but admitted to knowing little about his background. Leo told Lucy to relax, offering to handle things, but Lucy insisted on protecting him. They attacked, but Lucy used her magic to defeat them. E defeated, Leo suggested Lucy take a vacation. Lucy complained about their limited travel options, but he offered a car. Lucy, delighted, went on vacation with Lynn. Meanwhile, Grandpa was alone at the shop when goons arrived, demanding money. Grandpa pleaded for more time, but they threatened to vandalize the place. They beat Grandpa and left. Lucy, learning of the attack, immediately returned. Customers arrived, including Mia. Mia was shocked to see Lynn. "You work here?" she asked. Her friends mocked him, implying he was working in a low-class place because he had left Mia. Lynn told them to leave. Lucy used her golden eyes and discovered Mia's father had suddenly become rich after significant losses. Mia offered Lynn a job as her driver, promising higher pay. Lynn refused, but Lucy accepted, saying, "Pay up and you can take him." Mia agreed to a 1-month trial. She paid Lucy, and Lynn was upset. "You sold me for money?" he asked. Lucy reminded him of his family's bankruptcy and said this was a chance to investigate if Mia's father was involved. "That's a good plan," Lynn said, "but what if I get into trouble?" Lucy gave him a talisman for protection. Mia yelled, "Are you coming back in a month?" Lynn, hiding the talisman, went with Mia. Grandpa asked Lucy why she sent Lynn alone, worried he was too naive and might get into trouble. Here, Grandpa wonders if he might get into trouble and asks Lucy why she doesn't use her golden eyes to find out the truth herself. Lucy refuses, saying that this is Lynn's battle, and while she will help him, he must fight on his own. Later that night, Lynn starts looking around the rooms of the house and remembers that Mia had strictly forbidden him from entering a particular room. However, he enters that room anyway. Upon carefully inspecting the room, he finds a talisman under a table on which his grandpa's name is written. Realizing that everything happening is connected to this and that Mia's father is behind it, Lynn decides to take the talisman and leave. However, just then, Mia's dad arrives and catches him, demanding to know what he is doing there. Lynn starts making excuses, saying that he was heading to the washroom, but somehow ended up here. At that moment, Mia arrives and starts yelling at him, reminding him that she had strictly forbidden him from entering that room. Lynn tries to explain that it was a mistake. Her father shouts at him to get out of the house immediately, and Mia, in anger, accuses Grandpa of trying to steal something. Lynn denies it, saying that he is not such a bad person that he would steal something from here. He even offers to let them check his belongings. Mia's father searches his things, but finds nothing, making Lynn extremely nervous. Meanwhile, Mia's father notices the talisman under the table and, upon checking it, realizes that it isn't what he expected. He suddenly understands something and yells for Lin to stop, but Lin immediately runs away at full speed. While escaping, he ends up near a bridge. A flashback scene shows that Lin had cleverly switched the contents of the box earlier. Lin is relieved, believing that he can now save his grandpa and their company. However, just then, a car arrives, carrying Mia, her father, and several others. Lin starts panicking as many guards surround him, leaving him with no way to escape. The guards then capture him. Lin angrily tells Mia's father that because of his conspiracy, his entire family was ruined, but Mia's father remains unfazed. Meanwhile, Mia is confused and unable to understand what is happening. Lin then explains everything to her, including why his grandpa's name was on it. Mia's father coldly tells Lin that he is the only one who knows the truth, but after tonight, he won't live to see another day. Lin realizes that this means tonight will be his last. Suddenly, he remembers what Lucy had told him, that if he ever gets into serious trouble and can't run, he should shout her name loudly. Desperate, Lin yells Lucy's name at the top of his lungs. Lucy and Grandpa arrive immediately. Lucy, annoyed, tells Grandpa that he screamed so loudly it nearly burst her eardrums. Lucy then teaches Mia's father a lesson. Even though he apologizes, Lucy refuses to forgive him. Grandpa now begins to trust Lucy more and apologizes for not believing her all this time. For now, the drama ends here. If you want a part 2 to find out whether Lucia will be able to save Grandpa and whether their chemistry will develop further, please subscribe my channel.